Hey, how's it going? Checking in with today's daily update. And I have made some progress today. And what a huge difference to yesterday when I checked in. I was talking about how I'd sort of been struggling with with productivity. And even though I had actually, turns out, got a fair bit done, I wasn't really measuring my productivity in any meaningful way. And so it didn't really feel like I was doing anything when I was doing it. So I didn't kind of get that sense of satisfaction or of completing anything. And today's not really been a great deal different to that in terms of the kind of things that I've done, but I've had a lot more structure to the day. So I didn't have just like yesterday, I had no appointments in, I had no meetings to go to or places that I really had to be. But instead of copping out and saying, hey, it's a lovely day, I'll work from home. I mean, come on, when has that ever really worked? Yeah, if I'm being honest, it's like when you're a kid and you try and convince your teacher that it's a nice day, so you should work outside, and really, you know, that's code for not doing any work at all. So there you are, I got bits and bobs done yesterday, nothing like the levels of output that I felt I delivered on today. And the main difference was I drove to Bicester, went to the Perch co-working space where I have been every week, actually once a week for the last 3 weeks, so it's beginning to be a bit of a habit. And set myself up with some Pomodoros, 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of not working, 25 minutes of work, and so on. And I had some very specific things that I told myself I wanted to do in those Pomodoros. So I had 25 minutes, I had to create a form. In fact, this is a really cool thing. I was really pleased that I got this done. I had an idea last night to do this. One of my lovely clients from Boost, Alexa, she sent me a book on how to write a book. That's what she does. She helps people write books, and caught wind of the fact that I'm writing a book on knowing to doing. So she sent me a book, and one of the things I read in there reminded me of something I did when I wrote the Beginner's Luck book, and that was to ask your audience, i.e. my subscribers, what their biggest challenge is, so I can make sure that I answer the questions. Now, when I did that for Beginner's Luck, it was a revelation in terms of the questions it came up with, and the challenges and the specific problems that people were struggling with. And that helped me write a book that was very, very effective at answering those questions. And for some reason, I hadn't thought of doing it for this one. So the book was a really good prompt. Thanks, Alexa. It was a really good prompt to get me to do that. And I sent one of the things in my Pomodoros was to create this little form, 3 questions. What's your biggest challenge? What do you say to yourself when you're self-sabotaging, doing the opposite to what you say you're going to do? Can't remember how I phrased the question now. And thirdly, what would a book have to have included in it in order for it to be useful to you? So pretty useful thing for me to know. No, within about 3 hours, at last count, I've got about 60 of these responses back. Some really, really detailed and some fantastic insights. And so I've got a wealth now, a minefield of information to plough through and mine for the goal that will become the content of my book. And I was quite, in the email I sent out to everybody to encourage them to to fill in the form, I said, I want you to share with me your deepest, darkest secrets so that I can put it into the book and then sell it back to you. Well, I wrote it and I thought, oh, maybe I should delete that. No, I'm going to leave it in. So I left it in. Basically, that's what I'm going to do. It's all about the money for me. No, so, but seriously, yeah, so that was a useful kind of thing for me to do. And although that was one part of what I did, I spent another 3 Pomodoros, another hour and a half, actually writing content, not based on what the responses had been. I did the content writing whilst the responses were coming through, and I've also put together a few other posts. I just sat down there, internet free. This has worked well. I'm over the park at the moment. Came over here early to do a little video for Boost, my online coaching group. And while I was here, I thought, well, instead of going and sitting in a sweaty coffee shop for an hour and a half, I'll sit in the park on a bench and do some emailing. But instead of emailing in the conventional sense of looking at my emails and responding to them, I got about 6 people who I need to send emails to. And this is the big kind of outreach stuff, relationship building, following up with stuff for specifically about the speaking goals. I wrote them in a notepad on the computer, and now they're all ready to go to send. when I connect to the internet, when I am actually going to go to the sweaty coffee shop, but it's hopefully not going to be too sweaty now because it's cooled down a bit. But that's when I will send them all. So that's I've done that before. It's a really, really efficient way to not get distracted. No distractions at all. I've got a list of 10 people, write an email to each of them. I know what I need to say, put them in Notepad, save it, and then just copy and paste it into the email system when I connect, and bang, they're all done. So yeah, it's been a pretty productive day. As I said, nothing really significantly different in the type of things that I've done today, but because I had that structure to the day, it's left me feeling like I've achieved more, and that for me is really, really important. It's important for my motivation, for me to feel like I'm moving on the right track. I still haven't quite sussed the whole reward system thing yet for doing certain things, as in having a day like today, to kind of analyze that and say, right, you've done X, Y, and Z, therefore you deserve a reward, and what that reward should be. So I haven't quite got to that point yet, but I feel like certainly structuring the day in the way that I did, knowing that I can't and shouldn't actually work from home for an entire day because it just doesn't work, is two fairly useful learnings for me today. I think that I'd have figured that out by now, but no, it's only really now that it's all coming very clear that if I want to be the most productive and get the most done and be the most effective, then I need to take steps to make sure that I'm creating the best environment so that that can happen. There's my check-in for the day. Obviously still a little bit of the day to go, some more bits and bobs to get sorted out and to do, but that's my check-in, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button if you indeed do like the video, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.